Are you planning to do an Erasmus exchange in France? You're in the right place. I'm Morgane from Erasmus Play, and today I will tell you everything you need to know to survive your experience in France. From how to find accommodation, to how to order a baguette, and of course, enjoy the French culture along the way. C'est parti! Bonjour! No, don't worry, it's a joke. In this video, no clichés. And we are off to a strong start with the studies. It is important to keep in mind that the French university system can be a little bit different from your home country. Timetables tend to be more flexible, but also more intensive. Also, don't be surprised if you have oral exams or if lectures are in very large auditoriums. And you may have to get used to doing a lot of research papers and long essays, depending on your degree. The French do like to write. Another aspect that may be different from your home country is the grading system. In France, grades are out of 20. But don't worry, you will have time to adapt. Now, let's talk about what makes France so special. Its rich culture. France has a wealth of festivities and curiosities that will surprise you during your stay. One of the most important dates is the 14th of July, the famous Fête Nationale, or in English, Bastille Day. This day commemorates the French Revolution, and you'll see military parades on the Champs-Élysées, fireworks all over the country, and parties in every corner. So, really, don't miss it. Another very special day in France is the Music Festival, which takes place on the 21st of June, the first day of summer in the Northern Hemisphere. On this day, many artists perform for free for very large audiences. You will find music in every corner. The next date you should remember is the 6th of January. It's Epiphany, a feast of religious origin. In France, it is celebrated a lot, even if it's only to eat la galette. And by the way, there are two types of galette. The first one, which is called frangipane, and is made with almonds, and the second one, the brioche. So you'll have to try both to know which side you're on. And finally, I'm going to tell you about our favorite festival, La Chandeleur, which takes place on the 2nd of February. And why is it our favorite festival? Well, basically because it's the day of the crêpe. As with many traditions, Candlemas is accompanied by superstitions. In France, if farmers didn't make crepes on Candlemas Day, the wheat would be bad the following year. But let's be honest, nowadays it's just an excuse to eat crepes. And I'm not complaining. And while we're on the subject of the French customs, I'm going to give you some tips to integrate to the French culture as well as possible. And the first thing you need to know is that French are usually quite punctual. In fact, in France, they say that if you arrive on time, you're already late. It's always better to arrive a few minutes early. That goes for classes, as well as appointments or even a date. The only time you are allowed to arrive late is when people invite you to their home. In that case, the rule is to arrive 15 minutes later to allow time for your host to finish preparing everything. It's called the quart d'heure de politesse, 15 minutes of courtesy. Also, an important detail, if you're invited to a French house, never arrive empty-handed. It's polite to bring a little something, like a bottle of wine or the dessert. The French value a lot table manners and good manners in general. So watch out for little customs, such as not cutting the cheese wrong, or not putting the bread upside down on the table, or even not starting to eat before your host. Another thing you will notice for sure is the importance of food and cuisine for the French people. Lunch, for example, is a real ritual, and the midday break is sacred. It's not uncommon to see students spending an hour or more eating at the cafeteria or in a nearby restaurant. Forget about eating a quick sandwich in front of your computer. By the way, the midday break in France is between 12 to 1 or 2. So if you try to eat in a restaurant past 2 p.m., you'll find everything closed. And speaking of food, I have a very interesting fact to share with you. In France, you can eat a different cheese every single day of the year. France produces more than 1,600 different kinds of cheese. Many of them are protected by strict labels and are a source of pride for the regions. And a much loved dish for all French people with a lot of cheese is the raclette. But for French people, it's not just a dish. It's a real moment of sharing. Everyone joins around the table, the raclette machine is placed in front of everyone, and everyone melts their cheese in small frying pans. Exquisite. The next aspect you need to consider in France for your Erasmus is accommodation. And in almost every French cities, you will have different kind of accommodations option. In France, public residences are managed by the Crous. Then you have the private residences. They are usually in better condition than public residences, and you might have extra services, like for example, a pool or the cleaning of the rooms. Then you have the studio, the private room in a shared flat, which is usually the most common option. You can also stay with a family. In France, it's quite common to rent a room in a family's house. So, in other words, living the life of a French family. And finally, the last option is the co-living. It is a fairly recent option, which is in full development. Co-living consists of having your private space and sharing the common areas with your neighbors, such as the laundry room, for example. We know that looking for accommodation is not the funniest part of the experience. And sincerely, finding accommodation in France is not easy. But you're in luck because we've already done most of the work for you. We've gathered all the verified accommodation offers in one place, on erasmusplay.com. Just go to the website, enter your destination, and you will have access to all the verified accommodation offers. What's more, every accommodation is verified. So there are no scams, and you can book your accommodation in total security, even in the distance. In addition, to be able to rent accommodation in France, you will need a garant, a guarantor. A guarantor is a third party who will undertake to pay the rent if you cannot pay for it. Your guarantor must be French. But don't worry, if you don't know anyone in France who can guarantee you, Cautioneo can do it. And with the code ERASMUSPLAY, you can get 1 month for free. Also, you should know that it's compulsory to have a home insurance. And we have partnered with Luco to offer you an affordable home insurance. And here too, we've got you a discount. You can also have 1 month for free with the link we'll leave you in the description box. France can be quite an expensive country, especially in cities like Paris. However, the Erasmus programs offer grants that can help you cover part of the expenses. In addition, many international students are eligible from accommodation grants from the French government, such as the famous 𝒂𝒏. And if you want to know more about the Erasmus grant, we'll leave you a video right here. It is important that you prepare a good budget. It is important that you prepare a good monthly budget so you can enjoy your experience with no worries. In fact, we advise you not to spend all your budget on rent, because this way you will have enough money to go out and enjoy Erasmus life with your friends. Finally, my last piece of advice: don't be scared to throw yourself out there and enjoy new experiences. Erasmus is not only an academic opportunity, but life experience. So enjoy the food, explore, make friends, and live like a French person for a few months. Also, know that you can check our YouTube channel to find guides of different French cities. That way you can learn more information about your specific destination. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel and activate the notification bell to be advised when we upload a new video. Also, don't forget to check out our social media in the description box. See you very soon with new videos. Bye bye! Assistant?